You're listening to Sister Stargazers, celestial and terrestrial observations and advice from two real-life sisters. Welcome, everybody. Hi, listeners. Your sisters are in the house. Hi, Jude.
Hey, Sarah. How are you?
I'm great. It is episode 51 of Sister Stargazers, which for a weekly means that we are approaching our 1-year anniversary of consecutive weekly astrology check-ins, which is just amazing.
This is amazing. It really is. And we're just kind of gabbing backstage about how incredible it really is, because there's all this shifting that's happened over the last year, I'm sure, for our listeners as well. Yeah. But we've been committed to this, so we are very exciting. We'll
have to figure out next week something we can do to mark or celebrate a particular aspect.
An anniversary special! Woohoo!
All right. Well, this week it's episode 51, which is looking at the last week of August, approaching September. It's Sunday, August 28th through Saturday, September 3rd. Where should we start?
Yeah, I'd love to do just a little quick review, have everyone check in about the new moon in Virgo, which is Saturday, August 27th at 5 degrees. So this would have symbolized a new opportunity to review health, healthy thinking, good habits, a chance to reestablish supportive routines with your everyday life, like regular eating patterns, regular sleeping patterns, more healthy thinking.
Great.
And we did talk about this in our last episode, but I just wanted to check in with everybody because it's so close to...
Yeah, it's still in play.
It's still in play and starting the week. So on Sunday the 28th, the moon is in Virgo still. So we're still in a new moon phase, which is all about a new beginning, a new start. So anyone with birthdays around this time of year...
That's me.
Has an opportunity to carry into this new year this new moon energy.
Yeah.
In their very own sign.
Awesome.
So by Sunday, August 28th, the moon is moving ahead of the sun. So it's pulling away just a little bit, but it's still a good time to cast your wishes for the new healthy routines that you want to start for the new lunation.
Yeah.
We have a bit of, there's a bit of energy that I think I mentioned last week around this new moon, but it's still in play. Venus opposite Saturn.
Okay.
So Venus in Leo opposite Saturn in Aquarius. So Saturn Aquarius really wants those rules and regulations around structures, societal structures, ideas, new regulations, new rules. But it's like so hard to enforce when Venus is in Leo and wants to just have a nice time. So personally, this can be a pause in your, in the amount of work that you want to take on.
Yeah.
It can still be a good time to institute, your discipline. Like you're not going to throw it all out the window and go with, party 24/7. But you want to make sure that the work that you're doing is fulfilling, it's serious, that it also brings you some joy.
Yeah.
So there's this balancing act that Venus opposing Saturn is asking us to, it's not all work. We've got to have some play in there.
Yeah, for sure.
There's also like this question of loyalties. Like Venus in Leo is very open-hearted, and Saturn in Aquarius is kind of cold.
Okay.
So there can be like this kind of play on, like your friendships. You might feel that, are people still your friends?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But that's just because this is kind of a heavy opposition, and it's in play for about 5 or 6 days. So Venus, again, is this lighthearted, open-hearted in Leo, wants to just, expand the heart and love everyone. And Saturn on the other side is like, no, we don't have time for this stuff. Let's get down to, let's make our leanings begin and end at the right time. And, but there's got to be a way to embed some of the discipline into the friendships and some of the lightheartedness into the discipline.
A little balance, a little yin and yang.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Moon Trine Pluto happening the same day is really a great opportunity. Like if you have to have a heart-to-heart conversation, the moon is in Virgo, so it answers to Mercury. So if you have to go there with a friendship or have to have a conversation that's a little deeper, you can do that. The moon will be in a supportive trine. So the moon is in an earth sign, Virgo, supporting in a trine to Pluto in an earth sign of Capricorn. So you can have those conversations, and they can be about structure and, regular stuff, like earthy, daily, regular stuff.
Yeah.
It can be about those kinds of things. It doesn't have to be like all out there and
philosophical
Okay. It can be just like what are we doing next Tuesday and how are we going to make this happen? And
sounds good.
And who's going to do what? And let's get on a schedule. And
excellent.
Yeah. So the other thing that's happening, which is it's not actually showing up yet because it's a little far out, but I want to give people kind of a heads up, is that Mercury is forming a trine to Mars. So Mercury's in Libra, in the early degrees of Libra. It's at 2 Libra, and Mars is at 4 Gemini. So these are both air signs, Libra and Gemini. And Mars in Gemini is going to be there, like we talked about, for quite a while. 6+ months. So a good 6 months, and then starting to come out at the end of March 2023. This is a forming aspect, and it will be reforming as Mars goes back and forth. So Mercury Trine Mars, it's this mental whoosh of energy, but it's also got this attitude of aggressiveness or assertiveness. It's a little bit, it can be disputatious, which is like,
Great word.
kind of, moving towards the dispute end of the spectrum rather than the accommodating end of the spectrum. Okay. There's very much this vibe out in the world of like kind of sparring.
Sure. Yep.
And that's the mental sparring is kind of, it's a fast-moving aspect. It's forming now, but it will perfect over the week. So I just wanted to bring that to people's attention.
Sounds good. Okay.
Just be careful with your words and your actions.
Yes.
With this kind of aspect, you can speak faster than you can think.
Yep.
And you can say things you don't mean.
Yeah.
Because you're going so fast. Yeah. But on the other side, it can also give you courage, but you can also be rash. So it's, these aspects, they don't mean that you're going to go there. They describe the potentials.
Yeah, potential influence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But you are the one that decides which end of the spectrum it falls on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can be very argumentative, or you can fall on the opposite side of being very accommodating, or you can also meet in the middle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. So as we move through the week, there's still a lot of Mercury energy involved. So a lot of stuff is fast moving, a lot of idea generation. So the moon enters Libra on Monday the 29th and conjuncts Mercury. So this can echo back to the new moon.
Yep.
And it would be a great time with the moon in Libra, Monday the 29th, conjunct Mercury, to again reiterate that wish list that you might have made at the time of the new moon. And then moon also trines Mars. So the moon in Libra trines to Mars in Gemini. So this again kind of reiterates the Mercury trine Mars that we just talked about. So there's a lot of communication that's possible this week. Now, again, whether it's disputatious or
open-hearted or
compromising or kind of accommodating, that's your choice where you want to fall on that spectrum of multivalent possibilities.
Okay.
The sun will quincunx Jupiter on the 30th. So the sun's in Virgo, ruled by Mercury, making a quincunx to Jupiter in Aries, which is almost like a quincunx to Mars because Mars rules Aries.
Okay.
So Jupiter's in Aries. It's answering to Mars.
Yep.
So Jupiter is making everything larger and more grandiose and more powerful, more optimistic. And Aries is our sense of self. It's our movement forward. It's Mars. It's that energy that keeps things moving. So the sun in Virgo, wanting things to be neat and orderly and clean and efficient and well-designed and healthy. Is kind of bumping up against this Aries energy with Jupiter making things, well, I don't need to do that right now. I'm fine. Yeah. Everything will be fine. You're just overreacting, Sun in Virgo. You don't have to get all bent out of shape about a schedule. Things will just be fine. And, of course, things are not fine. Yeah. You know, because the quincunxes are like, they don't line up. It's like trying to put two Lego pieces together that are like, you know,
good analogy.
They just don't work. Yeah. They don't line up.
Okay.
So just be cautious on Tuesday the 30th. On Wednesday the 31st, Venus quincunx Neptune. Now the same idea, like Venus is in Leo all mushy and like, you know. Yeah. And then Neptune's up in Pisces being all mushy. And and it's not quite lining up.
Yeah, they don't line up,
So try to avoid making life-changing decisions because things are very impressionable right now. Yeah. Your intuition might not, it's giving you great ideas. I'm not saying don't follow your intuition, but you might want to wait a day or so. Yeah. Keep a log of the things that are inspiring to you. Yep. By all means, take in inspiring things, you know, like go out and marvel at the beauty in the world. Sure. But you don't have to act on anything. Quincunxes are not great aspects to make a decision under. Because they just don't, you don't have all the information.
Yep. Sounds good.
So every day this week has an aspect that has a bit of a learning curve to it. Okay. And so that's why I'm not following the moon this week as much. Yeah. But there are a number of personal planets, Venus, Mars, Mercury, that are making these. There are some good aspects, but there are more of the quincunxy. Yeah, absolutely. Intricate. Thank you, Sarah. That's a beautiful word. Complex, intricate. Yeah. Yep. So the personal, again, kind of bumping up against the social. Okay. Yeah. Plus, with all of this, you know, push to communicate. Yeah. Yep. Which is going to be ongoing. So as we move into the fall, there may be this feeling of like, oh, I've got to do, I've got to say, I've got to, and it's okay not to.
Well, and this time of year tends to have a lot of that energy because it's when schools tend to resume and everyone's schedule seems to shift and the weather is shifting. Well, here in the northeast of the United States, but this time of year does seem to also just naturally have a lot of negotiating parameters to it.
Yeah. Just take it day by day. I mean, really, just because these personal planets are hitting up against these big outer planets, it is a caution to just say, okay, just step back. Leave yourself extra time. Leave yourself time to think. Yep. You know, in the day, even if it's just 5 minutes to sit and breathe. Yeah. Mars sextile Jupiter's on Thursday the 1st. This is a great...
September!
Yeah. This is a great beneficial time for anything that requires confidence and energy. Okay. So it's a Gemini. Again, it's more mental. Mars and Gemini to Jupiter and Aries. So it's air to fire. So it's also about getting kind of fired up about maybe ideas that you've had earlier in the week. Of course, yeah. Friday the 2nd, Venus quincunx Pluto. So... Okay. This is a little more intense. It's not exactly in opposition. I know we've talked about quincunxes before. Right. But you want to express yourself honestly, but then not engage with how you're perceived. So, and you don't want to overdo it either.
Unpack that. Engage honestly, but...
Yeah, so quincunx is not quite lining up. It's not in opposition. So So Venus again in Leo, Pluto in Capricorn. So Venus and Leo, open-hearted, wants to express themselves, but you may be misinterpreted. Ah, okay. So the Pluto quincunx, wherever you're expressing yourself, may not be clearly interpreted or may not be clearly understood. Great, thanks. And so there might be some backlash or criticism or, you know, Pluto is not the most gentle, adversary or opposing partner, maybe even power trip. Okay. You know, there might be a power trip. So Venus is all like out there expressing herself, and then Pluto's like, well, that was just a lousy blah, blah, whatever. You know, you can have your feelings hurt. Yeah. Just know that it's the quality of the time, that it may not be you, it may not be the other person, it's just how things were misinterpreted. Okay, great. And the supporting aspect to this is Mercury's opposite Jupiter. So mentally pushing the limits. So Mercury in Libra, trying to be all, you know, balanced and fair, is opposing Jupiter in Aries that is all about me. So there's this particular Friday, the 2nd, is not a great time, plus the first quarter moon, sun in Virgo, moon in Sagittarius. There's lots of big ideas floating around. Hard to nail down all the details.
Yeah.
This would be the worst day of the week. And I hardly ever say things like this, but Friday the 2nd of September would be the worst day of the week to do any kind of presentation.
Great.
Because the chances of you being misunderstood, shot down, your ideas being misinterpreted would be very high.
Okay.
And just to give a positive outlook, Monday the 5th, Venus will enter Virgo. So this tender-hearted Venus in Leo will be getting much more practical as we move into the next week. But it's a little bit of a loaded week.
Just sounds like a lot of energy. One of the cards that did come up today, which I think encapsulates what might be happening, is the 5 of Wands, which is kind of a chaotic card. You have these 5 figures. They each have their own wand, and it's like they can't get it together. There's no one really leading. There's no plan. There's just these wands everywhere, and people, it could look like a struggle. It could look like conflict, but to me, it's like they just can't get it quite. It's not coming together very harmoniously.
Exactly.
So maybe, advice that we typically give about returning to yourself, keeping yourself organized, keeping yourself disciplined, and letting that sort of be a barometer for your week.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's really good advice. Yeah.
Well, thank you. That was a very day-by-day week. Sometimes we have a big overview and sometimes we have a day-by-day, but
Yes. Those personal planets hitting those outer planets. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So watch out where you interface with institutions.
Okay.
Or
agencies, organizations, things bigger than you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like if you're a member of a department, and watch out for where you interface with the organization.
Okay.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Well, if anyone has questions, please send us an email. We love hearing from all of you at connect@sisterstargazers.com. You can still catch us on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on WMPG.org for our weekly call-in astrology show, and we love hearing from you there. So you know how to find us, and we're so grateful for all your support and your listening, and we'll see you again the next time in September.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Thanks, Jude.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
You take care. I'll talk to you soon. I'll see everybody else next week.
Have a great week. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Sister Stargazers. Let us know what worked for you this week. Find us on Facebook and post a comment at Sister Stargazers.